see me rolling. They hating, patrolling and trying to catch me riding dirty. Trying to catch me riding dirty. Trying to catch me riding dirty.
Hello and welcome to another Brawl Stars video. Today we're going to look at 4 key points to help you beat top players in Heist. So, let's brawl! Hey guys, I'm Brawl Boy. Today we're going to look at the 4 things you need to do to win at the new Heist. I'm going to show you some gameplay where we run into some other top players along the way, and for each new game, I'll tell you about a new point to focus on. So let's go! Alright, let's jump right into the action in our first game against Lester Mo, Ice Spike, and Snow Pro. So as you can see right away, our team compositions are slightly different. They have Bull and we have Darryl. So that leads me to tip number 1, choose your team wisely. So I'm going to take this opportunity to talk about a few brawler comparisons. First off, let's focus on the comparison at hand, Bull versus Darryl. In some cases, Bull can outperform Darryl, such as on GG Corral, which is a particularly good map for him, because he actually breaks down the enemy walls instead of having to find the angle to bounce around them. But in most cases, Darryl outperforms Bull for 3 reasons. Number 1, his super allows him to travel further. Number 2, he takes less damage while using it. And number 3, he can dish out more damage on the safe. In 3 shots, Darryl can inflict over 12,000 damage on the safe. That's 40% of its total health. Whereas Bull can only inflict 8,400 damage in 3 shots, which is only 28% of its total health. That's a big difference in just 3 shots. Next up is Barley versus Dynamite. Both throwers are doing really well in Heist right now, but I'd give the slight edge to Barley for his defensive abilities. So Barley has better area control than Dynamite because of how long his attacks last for. On the offensive side, both do really well because they can deal a ton of damage to the safe very quickly. Colt and Ricochet are 2 very similar brawlers, but Heist really amplifies their differences. Ricochet used to be pretty viable in the old Heist, but in the new Heist, the ability to deal damage very quickly and to break down walls to shape the map is incredibly important and useful. Colt can do this, Ricochet can. Colt takes the upper hand. I will also point out that since Darryl and Bull are so common, the viability of brawlers who counter them, such as Shelly and Spike, has gone up. They are really good defensive options because they can do so well against Darryl and Bull. On the other hand, choices like El Primo and Frank aren't very good options in Heist right now because they just don't do well against those 2 brawlers. Tip number 2, supers have a bigger impact in Heist than they do in other game modes. When a super is used to inflict damage on the safe, whether it be directly, such as with Colt, or indirectly, such as with Darryl, there's a trade-off happening. You get permanent damage on the safe, which is the ultimate objective of the game mode, without charging your next super. However, with how action-packed Heist tends to be, supers are also pretty common. This is why you'll see so many top players invest their super into damaging the safe instead of enemy brawlers, because they know that they can get their super back pretty quickly. Same thing goes for using a super to shape the map to your team's advantage. It's much more worth it to invest in a super into doing something like that in Heist, because it can give you a permanent advantage for the rest of the match at a lower than average cost because of how engaging Heist is. Tip number 3 is a very important one. Overwhelm the enemy team by pushing forward all together at the same time. This is very similar to the old Heist for the team on offense. If you weren't all alive at the same time, making a push forward was very difficult. But if you were all able to stay alive and eliminate 1 or 2 members of the other team, then you could take advantage of an opening as a full team. This is very important for destroying the enemy safe, but it's also important for defending your own safe. Try to work together with a teammate to eliminate a specific enemy so that you can kill at least one of them instead of having them all alive at half health. And finally, tip number 4, get the first offensive advantage. So the map you see here makes it very apparent because it is clearly defined into 3 areas: your side, their side, and the middle. The team that can gain possession of the middle first has the advantage because it'll become a standoff, and then if they can kill 1 or 2 of the enemy team, then they are so close to the safe that they can start damaging it before the other team even respawns. Whereas if the reverse happens, that team can only regain some ground before the other team comes back. You can see that this is what went wrong for us in this match. With the choke points, they were able to push us out of the middle at the beginning with their team composition. The next time we faced them, I was Barley instead of Colt, which gave us the ability to push around the enemy team a bit more. You can see how this match still started off the same way, as that's the strength of the approach the enemy team is taking. Later on, I try to establish myself in the middle so I can have more of an impact on the enemy team's positioning, and so that when Darryl builds up his super and goes for it, we're already halfway up the map when we start to eliminate the enemy team. Now that we've gone through all 4 tips, I'm going to summarize them so you know what to focus on. Pick the right brawlers to make your team successful. Use your super often because you can have a big impact with each one you use. Make pushes to the enemy safe together as a team to overwhelm your opponents. And get the first offensive advantage to gain control of the middle. And there you have it, 4 key points to beat top players in Heist. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a like and subscribe to my channel for more content just like this. As always, shoutouts go out to Portal, Illustria, and Kairos Time, and all the others we faced in this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have an amazing day. This is Brawl Boy signing off, and I'll see you next time.